thought I'd bring you in just for a quick look at this process. I'm working on a couple of knives which are going to be fitted with desert ironwood, and desert ironwood, it's a lovely wood. It really does come out really look nice, and it's an excellent handle material, but I consider it one of the more difficult woods because it's a very oily wood, and by that I mean it contains lots of natural oils, which therefore makes it difficult to bond. So you need to use the correct sort of processes and the correct glues to get the best bonds, between your liners and also the tang of the knife. So I thought I'd bring you in for a quick look at the processes that I do. Here's one of the blocks, one of the scales, and I've put this some blue paper toweling down so you can see the amount of resin or oil that we get out of the wood. Just reaching over. I use acetone in a jiffy sort of spray bottle. And I just literally just wash the surface down and just rinse them oils. I don't know if you can see the colour of the liquid, which is the acetone, which is coming off. But it's taking that surface, it's taking those surface oils away, and that will all help. That will all help get you a better bond. So that one there, just put that aside now, and that will evaporate off and dry. And that's quite good actually. I did some other ones earlier, and they had a lot more oil on them. Still might be a bit more on this one. Yeah, this, I can see the drips coming off of it are still carrying some of the oils away. So these liners and scales now ready to be glued together, and then put aside and ready for fitting for knives a little later on. Working on a large batch of knives, number of classics, a camp knife, some hornets, some wasps, and even 3 of my smallest knives. I haven't built any of these for ages. This is the tiny little wisp. Someone's requested a couple of these, and they've asked me to taper the tang, brass liners and desert ironwood. So I've never tapered the tang of a knife so tiny as this. It's going to be a challenge, but I think I can do it. I'm going to have a go, and I'll show you the results in a week or two. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to come out well. But as I say, it could be a bit of a challenge. Shaping the scales for this knife. It's as you can see, I've already scribed the lines into the liner material, which is G10, and I'm going to grind all that away. You can't cut G10. If you cut G10, it blunts your bandsaw blades, especially the wood cutting ones. You can cut it with a metal cutting bandsaw blade, but you can't cut it with a wood bandsaw blade. It will blunt the blade in seconds. So I tend to grind all my handles to shape. Here we go. Next thing to do now is to make sure that these surfaces are absolutely parallel, because if they're not, it won't be right. So I'll put the pins through the handles and then go on to the disc sander, which is at 90 degrees, and I'll be able to get them all parallel. Quick check, make sure I haven't altered the adjustment on the table. I don't know if you can see it there, but they're not quite level. So what I've done, I've pinned them together so they're not going to move. It's simply a matter now of putting them on here. Getting both the surfaces to match up. Next part of the process is to put the chamfer on at the front of the scales, and to do that I use this flat platen with a rest table which has been angled to the exact right angle for me to be able to grind that front of the scales profile in. Next job is to take a fine grit belt. This is a worn 400, I think, 320 400, and then take out all those scratches there from the previous grit. You see the fronts of the scales finished off, because you can't finish them any other time. Once they're fitted to the knife, you can't get in there. The biggest benefit and the biggest reason why I actually drill the divots in the handles like this is more so that you don't squeeze all the glue out when you've clamped the scales on, because there is a risk that that can happen if there's no sort of pockets like this, and of course you've also increased the surface area, so it's just a good thing to do. This video has kind of turned into a bit of a spend a day in the workshop with Mr. Jacklore. I'm on the metal cutting bandsaw. In actual fact, I could probably cut this on a wood bandsaw, but I'll use the metal cutting bandsaw. This is brass, and I'm just going to cut some liners out to glue onto some desert ironwood for a customer. Yeah, let's cut this out. brass liners. Brass is a reactive metal. I don't use it much, but I think what they mean when they say reactive, I mean I think they mean it oxidizes very quickly. So I key the life out of the stuff. As you can see, I've really scuffed it up. Then thoroughly degrease it with acetone, and these are going to be married up to these desert ironwood scales, which I'm going to degrease in a similar fashion that I did previously. And then I'm actually going to use CA, because CA seems to bond this material quite well. The finished knife will then be drilled through like I do with the G10, so the epoxy then goes through the brass and into the wood, and that way I think you just get the best of both worlds, really. I don't think there's any other way to do it. I think that's a good time to call it a day actually in the workshop today, because I'm not going to touch these until tomorrow. Let them go off set properly, even though they've had the accelerator put on them. The thing is, when you machine or grind brass, it has a hell of a tendency to heat up, so you don't want to get it too hot, otherwise you can compromise the glue bond. So yeah, they can wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. I'll see you later.